Okay, cycle time study from the top. As you recall, we talked about these tools, the most important grind being the primary. Secondary grind is just a clearance grind. That's the one that's behind the primary. Primary is on the very end. And then you have a gash grind, which creates a little bit of chip clearance so that when this tooth makes a chip, there's somewhere for the chip to go. All the other grinds, this grind and this grind, they're all clearance grinds. So they're not, the exact angle is not important. What is important is the width of this grind on the end, because that determines the strength. So you always want to recreate whatever the manufacturer has presented you with, unless you learn something better, like maybe, for example, you get better life if you make that wider. It's your choice if you're grinding your own tools. To set the tool up, this indexing collar on the back has the flute markings on it. We're going to choose 4 so that we can set the tool horizontal and then flip it up vertical to get the gash. To time the tool, we have this spacer. Put the pin in the slot that indicates 4 flutes. Bring it around so that you're kind of tight. So you're closing up the collet on the tool. And then when it looks good, just tighten it up. Take this out. This allows you to load and reload pretty easily without any guesswork on whether you're actually horizontal or not. And even if you're not horizontal, they load all the same, so you'll be able to recreate that. This tower rotates like so. You want it to be, we trued the wheel up so it has some dish. We took the sharp edge off. You want to set it at basically 90 or a little bit positive, so you're grinding with the outside of the wheel. You know where the wheel is coming in contact with the tool you're grinding. Bring it in. So remember that 0, that's about center. You want to be 300 thou or so above center. It's still a pretty flat primary, but it should be strong. If you want more clearance, go to 400 thou or whatever angle works for you. So as you recall, we set the wheel height at 300 for your primary, and then we went up to about 1.3 for the secondary. That was pretty good clearance, so we'll go through that. So you can bring it into touch, 0 the X, bring it into about center, 0 the Y. That's just a reference. You can bring it into exactly the center by touching the outside of the bar and then dividing that by 2 and coming in and setting your 0 nonetheless. Let's do a primary. We have this set to 0. We have this locked straight at the moment. So let's come until we touch. Do the other side. You can go in until you've removed all the dull material. Okay, now we're going to go up and do the secondary. So for that we're going up to 1.3. That's an arbitrary setting we did just because it's got an angle that we like. You bring this in till you touch. So remember, when you're grinding, you want to make sure that everything's nice and tight. That'll give you a good finish. And then if you want a nicer finish, you can just speed the wheel up. In the meantime, we're going about 1500 RPM, so that really, because it's aggressive enough for this grind, and we're not heating the tool up. So you grind the secondary until you get the primary width that you like. If you want it thinner, go in more. If you want some, I think we decided about 45 thou, or a little over 1 millimeter is a nice width. It's pretty close to what they had on the factory tools. So we're choosing to do that. So. Now you've ground your primary and your secondary. If you've still got good clearance with this other gash, then you don't need to do that. If you want to do that, you can leave the machine at this height, flip it up into the vertical, going to the other 4 flute. We're going to come over until we touch. Zero the Y. Come in. So we touch. And then we're going to move out. We went in the X, we went in 420. So we're just going to flip over here to the other side. Go into 0 and then back out. Okay, that was the center. Now, if you want to do that kind of angular grind, I move this to 10 degrees. I haven't changed.